We're all looking for those personal and professional development opportunities and experiences to attend, to go to, where we feel like we come back a changed person. And you know exactly that feeling that I'm talking about, that you're chasing. That feeling that when you're in a room, you're surrounded by incredible people, you're taking in the messages, you're feeling the energy of both the speakers and the people sitting around you at the table. And you're realizing in that instant, that very instant, that you're leveling up and that you're going to come back a changed person from that experience. I recently had that feeling, that experience in California, and I had to return to record this YouTube video to share with you my 5 big breakthroughs or lessons. But before I do that and I share my 5 lessons with you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like button so more people like you can see this video. My name is Christina Crowley Arklie, entrepreneur, business coach, speaker, empowering you as a business owner, especially women entrepreneurs, to level up in business and in life. Now, back to those 5 breakthroughs or lessons that I shared for me that I learned when I was in California just a few weeks ago. Now, it was hard to narrow down all the things I learned into just 5 lessons, considering I came back with 13 pages of notes. Yes, 13. It's hard when you're in a room like that and you're listening to what the speakers are saying and the conversations you're having with other people. And you're realizing that you got to soak this all up because you don't know if you're ever going to hear it again. Meanwhile, you could probably just YouTube the person or follow their blog or listen to their podcast or visit their Instagram page, and you'll most likely find it. But the 5 lessons, I was able to at least narrow it down to speak to a lot of what these speakers, the general themes that they talked about at this mastermind that was held by Craig Ballantyne, who's an incredible entrepreneur, business coach in his space. He's, funny enough, a Canadian, like I am, was located in Mexico and now is in Vancouver, British Columbia, here in Canada. The community of people that he brought together in that mastermind that I attended and the speakers and lineup that he came up with were truly mind-blowing and incredible. So the 5 lessons that I came up with were kind of things that capture everything that we talked about in the 3 days that we were there. Things relating to mindset and marketing and selling and expectations and standards and boundaries, all the things that are required when you are leveling up as an entrepreneur. So the first lesson that I learned was around we need high standards and boundaries. And this was one of Craig's lead coaches, Daniel, who led this conversation. And I think it was really eye-opening for so many of us in the room, where he talked about how the expectations that we set for ourselves and the boundaries that we uphold and follow through for ourselves, most importantly, is first and foremost what allows us to reach our full potential. If you set a to-do list or a set of goals for yourself and you don't follow through on that to-do list or those goals, no one else is holding you accountable but yourself. And that's why it's so disappointing at the end of the day when you know that you had a to-do list that you didn't do or goals on a timeline that you didn't follow through on, i.e. that 90-day plan. It's you yourself that is most disappointed with yourself. And it's you who gives yourself permission to either follow through on that list or not. So number 1 lesson was around we need high standards for ourselves, but also the boundaries. And I think one of my greatest takeaways I'm going to talk about later in this video is around relating to those boundaries, is around saying no to things. But we'll get to that in a second. The second biggest lesson I learned was marketing is idea warfare. And it was Jason Capital who shared this idea. He was on the first day. He was the first speaker. So many good thoughts that he shared as a entrepreneur and a business owner who was one of Craig Ballantyne's first coaches, or sorry, first coaching clients. His whole idea around marketing is idea warfare is that we all have ideas. It's about the doing of the ideas and not necessarily the idea itself, about being different, but actually being better at that idea and actually doing the idea, which is where your money is made. And it makes me think back to the idea of like great marketing and ultimately amazing sales is that you can have any great idea, but if you actually don't capitalize on that idea and you don't get others to see how amazing that idea is, then you can't actually say that your idea was an amazing one because you have to get other people to see that your idea was amazing. So the idea that marketing is idea warfare, that we all have incredible ideas out there, but it's what makes your idea different, but actually better is what is actually at the essence of it, and that you actually do your idea, which is where you actually make money. So that was lesson number 2. Marketing is idea warfare. Lesson number 3 was from Sharon Srivastava, who is an incredible, incredible speaker. His journey as an East Indian boy who was put on a plane by his parents, knowing that America was a better life for him when he was really young. And he's been able to have this incredible journey since as an entrepreneur and now a billionaire. And his ideas that he shared on our last day together in that room were truly incredible. Some of the most profound ideas. And I'm now a huge Sharon fan coming out of the mastermind with Craig and the team. But his idea and the lesson number 3 that I want to share with you is luck is manufactured. And truly, if I could spend a day with Sharon, I know that I think our energy alone between him and I and the way that we talk fast and have this like crazy energy about us in person, that we would solve all the world's problems. Now, his whole idea around luck is manufactured is that when everyone talks about luck for successful people, it's because they've actually been disciplined and focused on the right priorities. And they've been preparing to capitalize on the right opportunities for years in the making before it's ever considered luck. And it's kind of like that idea of like luck is when preparation meets opportunity, that saying, which I was never really a fan of back in the day, but now I completely understand it. So his idea that I love was that luck is manufactured. And it's that all these things that you do leading up to that luck that all of a sudden creates the right opportunities for us and we capitalize on them, that actually creates that momentum for us as entrepreneurs and leaders. So loved lesson number 3 that I took from it all was luck is manufactured. Now, lesson number 4, it was what I mentioned earlier on in this video about standards that we set for ourselves, the expectations that we have for ourselves, but also the boundaries. And lesson number 4, and it was actually Craig Ballantyne himself that shared this at the beginning of his mastermind. Thank God for Craig. He brought us all together. He brought me there in this room, my first mastermind together with this incredible group of entrepreneurs in California. But his whole idea was around saying no to everything. And this was probably one of the most greatest profound takeaways for me from the legend Craig himself that I realize I really need to learn. And I'm learning this as we're talking. So it's not like I've come back from the mastermind with these 5 incredible lessons and I'm all of a sudden doing them. I'm still learning this, but this has probably been the most eye-opening for me is saying no to everything. And his whole idea is around in order to truly level up, you have to say no to everything else in your calendar, in your schedule, all the other work. The one thing that you want to prioritize and make as your offer and capitalize on that and sell it and make it your why, if that's the impact that you want to leave as an example, that you have to say no to everything else except for that one thing, that one why, that one offer, that one thing that you're trying to impart and sell to others that you want to offer to them in exchange of course, money and value and time. It's made me realize since I got back home from that mastermind at how much this is the problem in my business. And I'm working on this stat. I realize that a lot of, I don't know if this is people pleasing or what it is, but that I always love to help other people and that I've been giving of my time a lot more than I should be as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. I also love volunteering and I love being a community leader, but I'm realizing that my schedule is filling up a lot more than I even realized before now coming back since the mastermind in California. And that in order for me to really, really, truly level up, I'm going to have to start saying no to so much more. And this is going to be something that I'd love to share more on this YouTube journey that I'm with you on. So I'm going to ask you to hold me accountable in this. And maybe you too are going to realize that as part of this journey of leveling up as a woman entrepreneur, as a business owner, that you're going to have to say no with me in a lot of this. Craig's message and all that, when he said about we have to say no, is that we have to be the gardener, not the tender of our gardens. And I love being a farm girl, being a dairy farmer's daughter. I love when a business coach and these type of leaders give those type of gardening type harvesting or planting your seeds analogies, because it pulls on my heartstrings. It pulls on exactly what I know as a dairy farmer's daughter. And right now, funny enough, it's plant season for our farmers here in Ontario, Canada. And so springtime means that you're planting the seeds that we will then harvest and reap later this fall. And so his whole message around saying no to everything means that you need to be the gardener of your garden. You can't just be the tender. You just can't come in and just weed where you need to. You absolutely need to be the gardener of your garden. And I love that analogy. And I'm going to think of that every time that I need to say no to someone, even if it's family, even if it's friend, even if it's volunteering, I'm going to have to be the gardener of my own garden. So stay tuned on that one. Last but not least, my fifth and final lesson that I came back from California learning about was your network is your net worth. I have 100% wholeheartedly agreed on this one always. I've always believed in this, but I feel like I didn't truly embody it. And I'm finally realizing, coming back fully like eyes open after California and the mastermind, and how incredible that network of people was in that room that I feel so fortunate to have met. And it's probably the greatest takeaway or lesson that I have coming back from California. I truly lived it a month ago when I was in California. Not being one of the smartest people in that room was one of the greatest gifts I could have given myself. And I mean that with the most, the greatest, caring towards myself, that it was okay to not be the smartest in the room, that, the expertise, the knowledge, the energy that I got from other people in that room that I was soaking in, it is in fact how you level yourself up. You need to surround yourself with kindred spirits who want to go fast and far together, which was a line that Sharon also said in his talk on our last day. But your network is your network. Couldn't be more true, and couldn't be one more of those lessons that I'm going to lean in more and more in my journey as an entrepreneur. So again, to recap, what were the 5 lessons that I came back from that Craig Ballantyne mastermind a month ago in California? Was 1, we need high standards and boundaries that we set for ourselves and we follow through on. 2, marketing is simply idea warfare. So true. 3, luck is manufactured. Going to work on that one. 4, say no to everything. That's probably going to be the hardest lesson for me to learn, but I'm going to totally try to hold myself accountable on that one. And number 5 is your network is your net worth, which again, of all the lessons, couldn't be more true. And I feel like I fully embodied that living this experience a month ago with all the incredible people who I met at Craig Ballantyne's mastermind. These 5 breakthroughs or lessons for me remind me of the 5 most important requirements needed for entrepreneurship and business today. And that's why I felt compelled to share these lessons getting home, but also why I feel so compelled in my journey as an entrepreneur, especially as a woman, to share this on my YouTube channel now with you. But what are those 5 critically important requirements needed to be a successful business owner, entrepreneur today? It's 1, you have to have the right mindset, the right growth mindset. 2, you have to have goals. And trust me when I say this, I didn't use the word dreams there. Especially as a woman entrepreneur, I want us to start using the word goals, because the people who I was surrounded by in that room, they goal set and they put timelines associated with those goals. That's how you actually get stuff done. Thirdly, you have to have a skill set. You have to have an expertise or something that you offer to others in exchange, again, for money or that service, that value, that exchange of time that you need to offer others to be able to make impact, leave legacy, whatever your why is. But that comes with a certain skill set or expertise. Fourthly, you have to take action. You have to do the doing, as I said a lot when I was in California. You have to put the plan in place for those goals with that expertise you have to actually see through the do's, and you actually need to complete your to-dos with the timelines. And so that actually is through your actions. Fifth and lastly, it's about your network. It's who you surround yourself with, whose YouTube channel you decide to follow. Hopefully it's mine if you hit subscribe and like this video. It's the people that you follow on Instagram. It's the conversations that you have on social media as incredible. These are tools that you can use for professional development. It's the events that you choose to go to, the conferences that you invest in, or like in my case, Craig Ballantyne's mastermind, the Unstoppable Mastermind, which he holds every quarter, that I feel I came back a changed person for, simply because of that network of people that I would put myself in that room that Craig had cultivated, that now has brought these eye-opening lessons for me to share with you. When you surround yourself with incredible people, you do incredible things in business, but there's more on that to come. I promise I will share more on that. So here's now to taking action on the to-dos that I feel like I have coming back from Craig Ballantyne's Mastermind. If you don't know who Craig is, I'm going to make sure that below in the video description, I'll share Craig's Instagram account too. He's an incredible business coach and entrepreneur who I highly recommend following, because if it hadn't been for Craig, I wouldn't be here sharing this video with you today. And of course, his incredible team, my coach Galal, who has pushed me to step outside of my comfort zone and do more of this simply for you, especially women entrepreneurs and business owners who I want to see more of as a woman entrepreneur and business owner myself. Let me know what breakthrough today resonated for you the most and what you want to hear more about from me on. I'm looking forward to sharing more on my entrepreneurship journey with you. That's why I created this YouTube channel. So hopefully you found a lot of value out of the 5 lessons that I shared coming back from Craig Ballantyne's Mastermind in California. The views are stunning, by the way. If you've never been to California, make sure you go there, not only for the masterminds, but for the views. I got the most stunning pictures. It truly did feel like an episode of The OC or a movie. It was breathtaking. But before I run, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can see more of this content and we can see more of each other. I can't wait to share more of my journey with you as a woman entrepreneur and business owner. Here's to leveling up in business and life.